excuse me, Ian. Otherwise known as Tin Man. Been on the road here for 4 years now, doing some pretty intense work. And I want to have a little bit of a conversation. I think we're watching this video. I think this is the right video I found. Now, whoever wants to join me, I'm here. I'm sitting right here. Let's make sure I'm live. Yeah, and I got one person out there. That's cool. So then that means what I can do here is, what do I do there? And I'm going to push play.
Bigfoot tracker. Beings of the forest. Gardeners of earth. Mineral extractors. Wear and tear beings. Ecosystem beings. Weather influencing beings. Mimickers. Deadly to humans. Different aspects. Obviously on small numbers compared to our 7 billion plus. But those numbers are all growing. The amount of effects that these beings are doing in our industrial lives, like roadways, bridges, buildings. And then when it gets into the industrial trades of wood minerals, different, the conditions of the roads, the conditions of, you might drive around and maybe you live in a slummy area so you don't pick up on it. But if you notice your areas are becoming a look of slumminess, where they look dirty and so on and so forth, that's just all part of the natural painting of it to make it look that way, if that makes sense to you.
Not too long ago, a nephew of mine, and we weren't on my subject at all, he, back probably 20 years ago or something, with my brother and the whole family, had moved up to an area that's called Vernon. It's more like deserty area in British Columbia of Canada here. It's actually referred to as desert. And anyways, obviously it connects up with all the desert land that goes through whatever into the Americas there, through Utah, whatever. I'm not really sure all my figurings on states and stuff, so it doesn't matter. But he came down here recently, and then I was talking to him, and not based on my subject, he brought this up. He said, because he's now a tattoo artist, so he's into everything. He's into colors. He's into all that kind of a look. But before that, he was 20, 30 years in construction. He is now probably about 45 years old, I guess, maybe 40 years old. So whatever the math really would be. And he said to me anyways, though, he said in just 20 years, how much the city looks so worn down and dirty and breaking down and all these kind of things. And all I could say was bingo. Someone that I respect a lot is confused and has a whole history of background of knowledge in construction and ticketed and everything. And then here he is 20 years later, scratching his head and going, what's going on? How come it looks so dumpy? That's what I'm talking about.
They're amongst us everywhere here. Probably even got some back in there watching me. Just look at those couple of shadow spots there and see if you see the shadow get to grow darker within its own little spot there. It just becomes darker. Or I've got them on camera where the shadow is a light. You understand that, right? The whiteness is a light. And there's all the colors in between. And they have major amount of knowledge. And a lot of the people that see green, you have often looks could look like Moses's burning bush. And then I tell you guys how much these things, for years now I've been doing it, tell you how they work with rock and stuff, mountains, or mountain